Hi, I'm Alan Wenzel, Freepod host, thanking you for tuning in to this week's Freepod interview. In the past couple of years, several young entrepreneurs who grew up in Freeport have either returned home or remained here to start new businesses. One of those businesses is a video production company called 815 Natives. It's headed by Will Clark, a Freeport local and a Highland Community College graduate. And today, Will joins me to talk about the innovative, interesting, and growing business that he heads. Thanks, Will, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start, Will, with just some information about your business and the services you provide. Can you tell us a little bit about 815 Natives?
Yeah, sure thing. We are a commercial production studio, video production studio based here in Freeport, Illinois. We specialize in commercial video marketing for businesses. And our primary areas of service is we produce video ad systems for larger businesses, podcast productions, ironically, audio and video podcasts.
Okay, all right.
For businesses.
So give me a critique brands. Afterwards, Will. How I did here with us.
Yeah, sure thing. We can go over some notes if you like. And then custom video work as well. So in our region specifically, we still have a lot of businesses of all different sizes with very specific video work that with one-time video projects for special use cases. We do that along with our custom video work of a video term or product that we've made for a lot of businesses in our region is something we call a digital business card, which is like a 1 to 3 minute introductory video to a person or a business or a non-for-profit about who they are, what they do, and what makes them different.
I noticed that on your website, the video business card. That was really intriguing to me and interesting. So rather than just handing someone a little 2x4 piece of paper, you've actually got some video that people would watch if you were a business. Absolutely. To tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that kind of stays pinned in a certain area of your social media or very prominent on your website.
Oh, sure.
Along with, on your website, the things that people can read and the images they can look at to get a better understanding of who you are. This video is a condensed, quick, and hopefully entertaining way to get a sense of the business.
I noticed on your website that you advertise yourselves as being your plug-in video content partner. And I think you've already begun to do that, but tell me exactly what that means.
Yes. So that part is we have two general approaches to our business. We have our Freeport and our regional video service work that we do.
Okay.
But for our business, we also are working with and pursuing a lot of companies outside of our region, companies of a pretty large or a larger scale than some of the projects you might have seen from us in the past in Freeport. And so some of those companies, when we say plug-in video partner, is we've noticed a gap in terms of larger companies need more and more video services, need more and more video content for their marketing and advertising efforts. And a lot of these companies also have internal marketing and advertising teams that create a lot of that stuff, but it is still very tricky to keep up with, especially as you're trying to increase the quality of the videos that you're making for the business. So plug-in content partner is some of our services, we have an ad program and we have our podcast programs where we're developing a long-term relationship with a business or business's marketing and advertising team to develop ongoing programs that allow them to make way more video on a recurring basis than they would otherwise be able to do by either expanding their internal teams or hiring a more traditional agency, an advertising agency.
From what you're telling me, Will, it sounds as though marketing departments often don't have that kind of specialized expertise in video production that you provide.
Right.
They might have some, but it's at a rudimentary level and maybe not as up to date as it could be or should be. And that you just come in and say, okay, we'll take your marketing ideas and whatever it is you want to do, and we'll just turn it into a video production of some kind for you.
And more than that, we start by trying to develop a program or system that fits their general campaign goals or fits their approach to marketing and advertising.
So this isn't just a walk in and do something. It's like you sit down with the business and really understand what it is they're trying to do and the approach that they want to take.
Absolutely.
So that you can tailor your product to fit their particular need.
Yeah, 100%. And make it easier for them to make more video fast and better.
Oh, I see.
On an ongoing basis, because marketing campaigns are becoming, they're running in shorter time windows. So at a different point in the marketing and advertising world, you might work on a campaign for 6 months to a year to then have that run for 6 months to a year. In the age of social media and all the different kinds of content that is being thrown at us, those campaign windows are shrinking, and campaigns themselves are needing to be more reactive. So it is.
And maybe of shorter duration too. Rather than go 6 months and maybe a month, and then we're on to something else.
Or a quarter.
Or a week.
Exactly. Or a quarter. Or the content of the campaigns that we've developed halfway through whatever time frame you've picked to run them are getting good results, but not quite hitting the benchmark you're aiming for internally.
I see.
And so instead of coming up with something entirely different, it's how do we adjust what we already have? How do we create more modular media that can slightly adjust to reach that benchmark or outperform that benchmark, as opposed to, again, running for 12 months, realizing it didn't quite hit what we expected, and then trying a brand new idea 6 months to 18 months later. That's kind of the approach with our when we say we're a plug-in content system. We want to be another arm or branch of your marketing and advertising team in a company of a certain size. And we want to be just faster, better, more efficient, but super collaborative with the team you already have.
What are some of the services you provide that the clients generally are most interested in right now? What's the hot topic for businesses when it comes to video production and marketing and advertising? What are your clients going after? What would they like to see?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Again, talking about the kind of the split in our business right now, regionally. We are getting a lot of specialty kind of brand and storytelling ads, or not ads, videos for some more prominent companies in the area. So less and less of like one-off specific ads or short videos designed to sell something.
Okay.
More of either internal videos or larger storytelling videos that serve a slightly different function of getting people excited about a business, getting people excited about an internal initiative. We just did a micro documentary for United Way of Northwest Illinois, that you were involved with. Yes. So that's the kind of
very well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the kind of storytelling work we're seeing very commonly in our area. Expanding a little broader than our area, those two services, the podcast shows and our ongoing video programs for larger businesses, those two are very popular. And why actually now, because our website and our mission was kind of realigned recently, going into ending 25, going into 2026. That's why those are the two sole things we're communicating outside of our ad work, is because that was kind of decided a little while ago that this is what people are really responding well to. This is what we're finding a good stride in making. So a lot of podcast shows and then those large scale video programs.
I know from my background that the research is very, very clear that one of the most effective ways to reach people is through the telling of stories, and that people remember stories more than facts and figures. And if you combine stories with facts and figures, it's still not as effective as just telling the story by itself. And that's what people remember and retain, and that's what interests them. And so you certainly are working in an area that it clearly can make an impact for a business. Let me ask you this question. This is looking ahead, Will, where's all of this headed? I mean, 15, 20 years from now, are we still going to be doing podcasts? Are we still going to be doing video productions the way we're doing them now? And I know if you had a crystal ball, you'd be in good shape. But what's coming down the road in terms of your kind of work?
Yeah, I mean, that's an excellent question, especially right now, right? With the age of AI upon us,
Yeah,
and all the questions around it. And honestly, I have, especially on a 15 to 20 year time horizon, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no
Sure.
idea what this looks like. We're paying attention to AI in media and what that looks like.
That can be a scary thing too.
It can be. It can be. And I think there's a lot of fear around it, not just in my industry, although I would say maybe especially in my industry, but in a lot of different industries. And I don't know if anyone has a super clear answer. I think the technologies will certainly get there to where we don't have to make a lot of things, at least not in the ways that we have done traditionally for the last 40 years, at least.
Setting up a camera on a corner somewhere.
Exactly. At the same time, I think this situation is very unique where even though we won't have to, will we still want to in a lot of situations? Like I think what's in the age of AI, what has really excited us about podcast shows, and I think Freepod is a good example of it too, is AI might be able to create a lot of different content, but there is, I would believe or expect, at least maybe in the next 10 years, that there's still going to be a hunger for content created and stories told by people for people. So like at Freepod at a very local community level, the demand for it is the opportunity to hear from real people in your community about your community. Where you're physically,
such as we're doing today,
exactly where we're physically like living and where we're investing and where we're raising our kids, like that has a certain kind of demand that even if AI could technically replace it, would it be as successful? Because it's not, that wouldn't quite scratch the same itch, But at the same time, content designed to simply sell you a widget or apply a little bit of scarcity fear into you to get you to do the 2-for-1 special on something that you didn't need to begin with. Like that content might very quickly become exclusively AI. I don't quite know. So, and it's interesting you say, I know storytelling is something very innate and primitive for us and powerful for us as people, right? It's one of the oldest and most important forms of communication. So that element's not going to go away, and our desire to want stories isn't going to go away. But what it actually looks like in delivery and for even my business,
who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I couldn't quite tell you. I mean, I hope I'm making podcasts and ad programs long enough to not need to at some point.
Right. Well, you have a lot of years ahead of you to see what's going to happen.
Thank you. I hope
50 years from now, I won't be around, but you will be, and you'll look back and say, "Oh my gosh, look at how far we've come with some of this, and good and bad."
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, Will. What inspired you to start your business, 815 Natives? What was it that got you thinking that, gee, maybe this would be something I'd like to do, and I'd like to start the business here in Freeport? What's the story behind the creation of 815 Natives?
Yeah. It's kind of, I find it slightly interesting because it is not at all, like, I guess maybe like a lot of entrepreneurs, it's not at all the path I expected to take. Like a lot of people who picked up a camera, I fully expected to pursue the LA dream and become a world famous movie director. Like a lot of rational.
So we all, right?
Exactly. Like a lot of rational, balanced kids. And so that's what got me into storytelling. And I guess if I back up even earlier than that, what really got me into video was a couple of YouTube skits that was shown at my local youth group when I was like 14 or 15. And there were a couple of them that really stuck with me for a few years, just kind of going over and over in the back of my head. And I think by the time I was like 16 or 17, I was like, I could make one of those. I could definitely make one of those.
And do it better.
Exactly. So at that same youth group, I came to that youth pastor and asked to steal their camera, and me and my friends attempted to make one. And we did have something completely finished, and we were in love with it at the time. And it was not at all like the YouTube video, but that's when I got hooked, and that's where the Hollywood dream started to stir in my brain. And from there, I went to Highland's mass communication program and media classes, and did a lot of video and audio work through Jim Yeager's program. And from there, still planned to pursue movies and kind of the Hollywood dream. But in the intermediate, after I graduated Highland, I began working at a local shoe store. and met a young guy who had just had the opportunity to buy in and gain ownership over that shoe store. And he was about 4 years older than me. And part of the drive to leave our area was like, I think a lot of kids at the time in our area I had kind of a negative outlook on our community. I was just one of those kids like, well, you have to leave. I have to get out of here. I have to go do something different.
And that's not unique to you or to living in Freeport. I think most kids at some point want to spread their wings and just leave home and get away from and try something new and different and get out there on your own a little bit. That's not unusual at all.
No, 100%. But at the same time, I do feel like there was a bit of a negative stigma.
Yeah, about staying here.
Specifically. But I also hadn't thought that feeling through very well. And when I met this young man, he was really excited to be here. And he also had a much different outlook on not just Freeport, but communities this size. He was also in the process of turning around that business.
Okay.
A business that was struggling really, really poorly. And some people thought struggling just because it was in this community, right? Like that was a local stigma. And he very much proved that wrong and was excited to do so. And so working there changed my outlook on
staying in the community,
and communities our size in general, but specifically, I'm like, I wonder if there's a way to use, and also being so close to a small business owner and seeing how it worked behind the scenes got me really interested and excited about the value of small business.
Oh, sure. And what it could do in a community and not only what it could provide a community, but how it could support your local community.
Yeah, absolutely. And the real impact it makes on people's lives. I mean, they sold a lot of different kind of orthopedic shoes or just shoes that are supposed to be better for you. And he had come in with a totally different approach to like properly fitting people in shoes, which sounds kind of crazy, but it actually consumed 3 years of my life. And watching how like it really like just getting people in the right size shoe and a good shoe, how it really emotionally impacted folks. And then I realized like even a little shoe store where people just buy shoes in your community has like real value in people's lives. And so therefore I knew retail was not for me, but I wonder if I can have this kind of impact and make a better life for myself here in my own hometown. That better aligns with what I think I actually want as an adult than being on a movie set for 14, 16 hours a day.
And paying the heavy price that people who go to Hollywood pay. Correct. For that success and financial success and notoriety. So it sounds like, Will, what happened was you decided to take your interest in video and in directing and keep it local and create a little company where you could be your own director and your own producer and your own writer and your own editor. Yeah. You could do it all by having your own company here.
Absolutely. And that was also the other element of it, or the flip side of it too, is I told myself that exact same thing. It's like, if we build a successful business that helps people in our area and abroad, but helps by maintaining a base of operation here, we could. Because what I really want to do is those silly YouTube videos. What I really want to do is make what I want to make, and I don't necessarily need to pursue that other path. I took the bet that I don't need to pursue that path to do that. If even if it's in my own spare time, we can still make what we want to make, and it doesn't have to be for money or fame. Right. And then we can continue to sharpen our skills, helping community members tell their story and helping other businesses across the region and otherwise tell their story. Along the way, you receive a lot of personal satisfaction from being able to do what you're able to do and have fun doing it and help people at the same time. There's got to be that element in here too for you. Absolutely. Definitely. One of the questions as we get near the end of our interview here, Will, one of the questions I have is that what advice would you recommend other folks who would like to start a business, maybe stay in their hometown or come back to their hometown? And by the way, I think mid-sized, smaller communities like ours are receiving more and more attention because people are tired of some of the atmosphere, I guess, of the larger metropolitan areas. Yeah. So they're coming back to smaller towns. What advice would you give a young entrepreneur? In terms of entrepreneurship, a couple of things. It is, I think when I decided to pursue entrepreneurship, which was between around 2018, 2019, hilarious timing. Entrepreneurship was, I think, really romanticized, especially on the internet. I know a lot of the things that I was consuming at the time really sold it as this amazing, great alternative, and almost to the point that people who have jobs are suckers. You know,
okay.
kind of thing. And maybe not so overtly, but it definitely, if you're young like I was, you could definitely fall into that mindset. And I think the important thing to remember is it is not for everyone. That is totally okay. It is, at times, it is going to be much harder in a lot of ways than a traditional career. But if you feel drawn to it, if you feel that's what you need to do, and you can embrace the times that is much harder, there's a good chance that that you'll get what you want and possibly a bit more on the other side of it. But I just, from where I came from, how romanticized it was, it's like, take your time and be aware that like, this is harder. There is a little more freedom, but there's also way more responsibility. And so for a period of time, specifically if you're ambitious, for a period of time, there is less freedom.
You'll be putting in longer hours. You'll be
absolutely
doing what you need to do to get the business started.
Absolutely. And everything is your fault.
Sure. Because you're the person doing it, the one at the top. And
it might not actually be right. Like sometimes that's a little of an intense way to think about it. Like something outside of your control could happen, but ultimately, especially when it's your business, what does that matter? You know what I mean? Because you still have to fix it. Or it won't continue.
A question I've got, Will, did you have some help along? I'm sure you did. Some resources that you called upon to help you through some of that. People advise you on financial matters or tax matters and those kinds of things. I'm sure you must have a stable of people that you worked with to help you.
Absolutely. And that's a really good, clear piece of advice that I haven't thought about in a while, but that I would absolutely say and said a lot at a different point in my life. Use every advantage and resource that you have, because entrepreneurship, especially starting out, and if you're like me, you don't know anything about what you're doing. It is absolutely like, don't let pride slow you down. Don't let either shame or embarrassment of
ask for help.
Ask for help. Lean on help. Highland was actually a decent resource. It was a really good resource for me. My actual regret too is like, if you're a creative person and you think you may want to do something on your own, take more math classes.
Take more math.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take an intro to accounting or an intro to bookkeeping, or take it at your community college or whatever. Like, cause you will need it. Like if you're a creative person, well, I'm just going to make something so great that like, it's going to make enough money. You can charge all kinds of money and it can still not be enough if you don't know the math. So take a math class, take an entrepreneur class, but then lean on your network. I was blessed and fortunate enough to have a father who was, in a corporate administrative position and had a lot of experience with little things that ended up mattering: contracts, legal work, the math of a business, using a spreadsheet, and in different ways. Lean on, if there's family, lean on friends. The owner of that shoe store became one of my best friends and became very plugged into the community. So he was able to, I had been here my whole life and he was introducing me to people that that were really helpful to me. Our accountant very early on came from my now wife's mom's friend. Like, jump in, meet people, ask for help. Don't be afraid to acknowledge what you don't know.
And in meeting all those people, you'll find someone who knows some IT that could help you out, or some legal advice, 100%. Or some financial, or a banker, or whatever it might be. Those folks are there and they're willing to help. And some, you have to pay for some of that advice from time to time and need to do that. But don't be afraid to ask for help. That's what I'm hearing you say, Will.
Yes, don't be. And because you won't do it on your own. Like you won't actually succeed completely on your own. And there really isn't a prize for doing it that way anyway. Nobody's handing out
There's no award.
Exactly. And people are excited to help. I mean, I'm in a position now too, where I am really excited to help. I'm the kind of person that has to be careful not to give advice when you're not asked for it. Right. But it's an exciting thing. I mean, like, I've had the opportunity to give talks and presentations in a couple of places. I'll be giving one later in March on a business training program here in town. So, and I enjoy it a lot. Giving the opportunity to help somebody skip some of the pain that I went through. And I'm super grateful for the folks that helped me skip some of the pain that I would have gone through had I not been introduced, had I not had the humility to say, yes, if you would help me, show me this.
So now you're in that position of being able to help others
Absolutely.
as they come along and follow your path.
Yes.
With some business idea they have. Well, this has been so enjoyable to sit down and talk with you a little bit about your business and how you came to start 815 Natives and all that goes into being an entrepreneur in your hometown. And I think it's just a great story to tell. And I appreciate your time. Do you have any, before we sign off, any final words for our listeners, Will?
I think just going back real quick and touching on advice for folks considering their hometown or a small community. There's some entrepreneur advice, but I think it's worthwhile giving your hometown or a smaller community a second look, because the opportunity to get truly plugged in and get to be involved at a level and have an impact and care at a level that might be harder for you to at a larger community.
It's a good thought.
Yeah. Like I'm in rooms and meeting people and getting to see and be involved in stuff up close that I don't think I would be able to do, or honestly have the interest to do in a community larger than this, or maybe more fruitful. And I personally get a lot of satisfaction on having a hand in maybe making something slightly better than I found it. And so as opposed giving it a second thought to say, like, as opposed to what can this area provide me? You might be surprised on how much joy and satisfaction, an advantage you can get by asking, what can I provide this community?
Will, thank you so much for your time today and for talking to us a little bit, not only about 815 Natives, your video production company, but some of the ins and outs that a person experiences as they start a new business in a small community, a smaller community like Freeport. And good luck to you, Will. We appreciate your time and wish you the best. This is Alan Wenzel reminding you to tune in to our regular news podcast, which airs at noon on Thursdays on all major podcast platforms, and tune into our weekly interviews, which drop every Tuesday at noon in those same locations. And our thanks always goes out to the Mass Communications Department at Highland for producing these podcasts for Freepod. Thank you for listening.